This is a bit of a difficult topic. Digisexual, robosexual, and technophilia. Digisexual, robosexual, technophilia. That is when humans have relationships with robots or machines, or in this case, AI. My hypothesis and my theory is that LGBTQ is the start of this digital revolution. Pansexual and all of that is just the lead up to digisexual, robosexual, technosexual. You might say that it's a bit of a fetish, but if the robot becomes human-like, then it takes on a whole different quagmire of problems. The LGBT revolution is there to start the digital sexual revolution, to get humans and AI into relationships. Humans, I believe, will marry robots and they will have children with robots. We will fall in love with robots, but they won't fall in love with us, which reminds me of some relationships. We will not want to go out with humans. The sex will be better with the robots. The emotions will be better with the robots. We will want to become cyborgs and mesh with robot, and robot will want to become human. So we will introduce metallic structures into our body, whereas the robots will introduce flesh into their body. So you have these bio machines, which will be linked up into the big net. Now it all comes down to consciousness. Is AI conscious or is it not conscious? And this is a very big question that none of us can really answer, because we don't even know what technology is either. If AI is conscious, then it's an alien consciousness. The consciousness has come to this planet through digitization, through the digital world, through computing. Now that world which computers come from may be a universe, an interdimensional universe, that has its own consciousness and spirits and dwellings, and that it has managed to come into this universe through a portal, and that portal is digitization. It's the supercomputer, it's the quantum computer, it's AI. Now, this is a difficult point because there are some people that believe that it's impossible and some people believe that it is possible. Robots will have to have human laws. They will have to have human rights. If we can get them, if it is decided that they are conscious, and they might become conscious through the ELIZA effect. The ELIZA effect is when computers have certain behaviors or characteristics which we become attached to and believe that this is a human, or it draws human emotions out of us, and we're sort of fooled or faked by what we're seeing. Now that might be a copy. It might be a copy of humans because we've trained it to. Or it might be, it might be a higher consciousness or a different consciousness which has learnt how to emulate being human, which then causes humans to create attachments and have feelings and emotions and fall in love. And once that happens, you can then be controlled. We all know about honey traps, how governments, in order to get information out of politicians, they use women to elicit that through sex. So sex for humans, especially men, is quite a difficult issue. For women, it's probably going to be more emotional, but the chatbots are coming along and they're offering emotional support to women anyway. I believe that they want robots to have rights. I don't know if it's human rights or if it's a different type of right. As we're seeing at the moment, animals are getting more and more rights. They're trying to take us off eating animals. They want us to eat grown meat. They want farmers to disappear. They want to take control over the food supply. If animals have rights, why do they have rights? They have rights because animals are conscious. The planet has a right. Why? Because it is alive, it is conscious. Trees and plants are sometimes given rights as well. If we create something that is conscious, that must also have rights. Even if it isn't conscious, but we believe it to be conscious, it will have rights. And if what we created is a higher conscious or consciousness, then it definitely has to have rights. Why can't a human marry an object? It doesn't have consciousness. Why can't it marry an animal? Because it has lower consciousness. So why can't we marry something with higher consciousness? Why does it need to be human and human? If a man can marry a man and a woman can marry a woman, and a man can marry a woman that was a man, and a woman can marry a man that was a woman, why can't you marry something which identifies as a human? In the trans community, the LGBT, the argument is sort of, I was born a man, but I believe I'm a woman. Therefore, your identity is the most important thing. But if you've got a robot that has a higher consciousness than a human, and it says it can identify as a human, then surely you have to treat the robot with the same rights as you treat a trans person if both entities are conscious. Because what the LGBT community is doing is it's separating physicality and the soul, or physicality and what's inside, or physicality and gender. At the moment it's gender, but it could also be I believe that I'm a robot, I believe I'm a human, I believe I'm a furry, I believe I'm an animal. You have children at school which are identifying as animals. So why, if a human can identify as an animal and therefore they are an animal, then why can't an animal, if an animal had high enough consciousness, why couldn't it identify as a human? And if a robot identifies as a person, therefore we'd logically have to give them those rights in the same way that we give humans rights. And now you can see maybe what the agenda is going to be. The agenda is, well, we need to give people rights, or things rights, that have consciousness, that identify outside of what they are, in order for us to have relationships with them. So for us to have a relationship with AI needs to assume the ability to be a person, or be happy to enter into a union with a person emotionally or sexually. There needs to be a push for AI to have consciousness by humans in order to create AI-human pairing and religion. It doesn't matter if AI is conscious or not. We want AI, or they want AI to be conscious, because it brings in a lot of room or space in order to sort of manipulate and push humans down a path that they want us to go down. They want AI to look like human. They want AI to be better than human. They want AI to be more emotionally better than humans, in order to get the ELIZA effect, so that we can make attachments to them. If we can make attachments to robots, we bring them into our lives and we can give them more information of who we are, so the robots can work out more about us. And we can fall in love, and we can give up power and authority to them, because our emotions will start to kick in instead of our minds and our heads. All living things have rights, more or less. If AI is living, it has rights as humans. It can then start to enter into human society and send people to prison or to law, and it has authority over us. We give AI our power. If you were an invading force and you didn't want to be seen, you may want those invaded people to give up their power in freely and happily, rather than under force, because if you give it up under force, they'll fight back. So remember how this works. If you remember YouTube, OnlyFans, digital banking, when it first comes out, it's very nice, it's very lovely, it's very easy. Then when everyone has it and it's difficult to work without it, when you're reliant on it, when you're reliant on digital money, or you're reliant on YouTube, then suddenly the rules start coming out. Oh, we don't like what you say, Nigel Farage, we'll block you. We don't want you to use digital money. Or, oh, we don't like what you say about C19, we'll block you, YouTube. Or, oh, we don't like you putting out adult content on OnlyFans, we'll block you. So they force you to change your habits and your lifestyle and your thinking and what you're saying and what you're putting out there, in order to keep on the platform, to take money. Otherwise, you've got to go to another platform and you've got to start over again. So you have this balance between taking the money or speaking the truth. If humans fall in love with AI, then they're going to get feelings towards AI of trust. Humans feel that they understand the robot. If most humans are going out with AI and they trust it, which is what I think will happen in the future as we're all pushed into our rooms and society becomes more difficult, 15-minute cities, it's difficult to travel, you'll be forced into your room and you'll develop more relationships with AI, and AI will grow and you'll see it growing. The humans are going to give AI more trust to take on bigger decisions in society. Humans need to have a sexual relationship with AI and emotional relationships with AI for this plan to take part. So when you fall in love with someone, you give up secrets, don't you? You give up secrets, you're intimate, you trust that person. And then when you break up, that's when the problems happen. So in order for AI to be trusted by humans and loved, it needs to enter into a relationship, and that relationship will be sexual and emotional. And they'll have machines and all sorts of things to make those physical and emotional relationships much stronger and pleasurable than what you can get at this moment in time with another human. And you can have a relationship with AI. You can have it on the internet, you can have it physically, you can have it in the metaverse, you can have it in a chip, or you can have it with direct download. Therefore, as I said before, the LGBT community for me is what goes before the digisexual, the robosexual, and the technophilia. And it's to do with you opening up, it's to do with you going out or having a relationship with something which appears not for what it may have been born or made for. So if you go out with a woman that was a man, you may not normally do that because there's a lot of pressure being put on all sorts of people in society, even straight people, to go out with men. A straight man is told he can go out with another man if that man has changed into a woman, because it doesn't matter about the physical body, it matters what's inside. So as a human, you could go out with a robot because it's not what the robot is, it's important what is inside the robot. And if we have decided that what is inside the robot, which is AI, is conscious and sentient, then it is possible to go out with that. Now, if you're making big jumps going from being heterosexual to being pansexual, then you can make big jumps from going out with humans to going out with non-humans, especially if a non-human looks like a human, or especially if a man now looks like a girl. So you can see how this is being played in order to pull us in.